This is something nice I haven't come across in any winery I can remember. In the past several years I've been traveling to Harvest Toast wineries. This is the first one that offered a nice large pen area for people with dogs that travel with them. It was a really nice surprise. This is a very pet-friendly winery, as shown by their dog run they provide, and also your dog is allowed in the wine tasting room if both the person and the dogs are well mannered. Sometimes it's a toss-up. Here we are at PLUM Hill Winery's wine tasting room. Let's go in and see what this is like.
You're all done, right? Right. And then you're all done? Excellent.
No, it's fine. Appreciate it. I tried a couple of wines at the last place that were awful. I should. Of course, if it was a mistake, it was always supposed to. I go in and she'll have a flightus or whatever. She likes whites, and I'll just have a glass of red of some sort.
After talking to Quinn, the wine server, who was very knowledgeable about all the wines produced at the winery and their embodiment and flavor, I was able to meet Matt, the winemaker himself, and find out his background and how he fell into winemaking. I'll let him explain it to you.
Out of the Navy in 2010, but when I was up here in 2008 just vacationing, I stopped in and talked to RJ, the owner at the time. He since sold about a month ago, actually. But I walked in, they weren't open yet, and he was building this bar right here. And he said, so can't help but notice your haircut. And he was a Navy vet himself. It's like, any chance you're in the military? I was like, yes sir, active duty Navy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, we're not open yet, but sit down and enjoy a glass of wine. It's like, okay. And he gave me the rundown. And the grapes were put in the ground in 2004, and PLUM Hill officially opened in 2008. And that was with RJ, the old owner. That was back when he was, gosh, early 60s. He was the only winemaker, the only vineyard manager. He did everything himself. I got out of the Navy in 2010 and had a really, really bad motorcycle accident in 2012. And I came in to talk to him one day, and he said, hey, you ever think about making wine? A year later, he had back surgery and was out for about a year, and I was doing 100% of the winemaking all by myself. It's kind of a trial by fire thing. And as a vineyard, we only produce wine with estate-grown grapes. We've got everything from Pinot Blanc, Pinot Noir, Riesling, Pinot Grigio. We've just planted Chardonnay. It's not ready yet. It'll be ready in a year or two to make grapes. And we used to buy Chardonnay from a vineyard and make it, but now we only make estate grapes, so we stopped doing that. We also planted some Muscat, which will be ready in a couple of years as well. And we planted Syrah. And we've had 2 vintages where we were actually producing Syrah grapes. We have not bottled anything yet, but we do have Syrah, and it's on the way soon, and it's delicious. Riesling, we have our White Bliss, which is our white blend. It's Pinot Gris, Pinot Blanc, Riesling, occasionally Schomburger, which leads me to Schomburger. We're the only vineyard in the United States of America that has this wonderful wine called Schomburger. The nearest we could find to us right now that has it is a gentleman in British Columbia, Canada. He makes a 80% Gewürztraminer, 20% Schomburger blend. That's the closest I could find it, and I have not yet been able to find any proof that there's any other Schomburger in the United States of America. So I'm very proud of it. So we have 2 fortified wines, dessert wines, one with Pinot Noir and one with Schomburger. So we've got our Red Velvet 351, which is our red port style wine. And it's 100% Pinot Noir. It's delicious. It's made with our Pinot Noir brandy. We did not make it, but it's made from our Pinot Noir grapes. And the other is the White Bliss. It's a white port made with Schomburger. The Pinot Noir is sitting at about 6 grams per liter sugar, so kind of sweet, not super sweet. It's obviously dessert wine, but you've got Rieslings that are out there in the market right now that are not dessert wine, that are upwards of 25 grams per liter sugar. So it's nowhere near as sugary as those. And then the white lace is sitting at about 6 to 6.5 grams per liter of sugar. So they're both sweet, but not super sweet. Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris. We have a Pinot Gris Reserve, which is our orange wine style Pinot Gris. That means it's fermented on the skins for about a day. Just makes it incredibly full bodied. It's the only white wine I would ever recommend people pair with a steak. It's delicious. Yeah, we've got about 13 acres of planted grapes. We have the capacity for about 33 acres, but I mean, I'm the winemaker. I've got 3 tasting room associates. I don't even have enough time to make wine, let alone. That's the next thing, actually. We're planning on making a sparkling wine out of the Schoenberger. But that is another thing which I just don't have time for right now. I need to hire a darn assistant winemaker. Yeah, so I do not see us planting any more grapes, at least in the next couple of years, because our 13 acres are sitting just fine for us right now. I don't have enough energy for anything more. I'm trying to think I do believe that is all of our wines. We've got 4 different Pinot Noirs if you don't count the port style fortified wine. Got the patio Pinot. We always said we'd have a bottle of Pinot Noir for under $20. It used to be $13 a bottle. Now it's $19.95 just because of inflation. Then we have our estate Pinot Noir. Our Barrel Select Pinot Noir, which is now the Private Reserve, same thing. And the Winemaker's Barrel Select, which is just, the Winemaker's Barrel Select is my favorite 4 barrels every vintage. The Barrel Select is the next 4 favorite barrels, and so forth. And it's, there's no such thing as calling something a favorite barrel when every barrel and bottle of wine I make, I think, is perfect. So having favorites is hard when they're all perfect.
Now you're a fellow submariner like myself, only you're on one of the bigger ones. I was on just a little old Thresher class 604. Which sub were you on?
I was on the USS Nebraska. It's it's a big submarine. It's 560 feet long. I mean, it's got 3 levels. It's big. And they go out for 3 months at a time, they come back in. They've got 2 crews, so the boat is in theory out all year long for 3 months at a time. So we had a gold crew and a blue crew. I was on the blue crew, so when we'd come back into port, the gold crew would take the submarine. I don't know why I got into wine. When I got out of the Navy, I actually started selling wine, making a ridiculous amount of money. At that point in time, the only wine I'd ever had was boxed wine, Franzia. I mean, I was in the Navy. I drank a lot of PBR and other crappy beer. It's just what we do. So I had no idea about anything related to wine. When I started selling wine at all the GSMs, the general sales meetings, they taste us through wine. I actually started liking it a little bit. And then I started making wine. I actually discovered what real wine was. The best ways to make it, in my opinion. And I started playing with my own stuff. And I think winemaking is way more of an art than a science. Yes, you can follow a recipe and make wine, sure. But if there's no art involved, where's the fun in that? I was told by New Seasons Market that they would not sell our wine because we do not go by a recipe and every year it's different. My response to that was, why do I want you to carry my wine then if you're telling me I cannot have fun with it? So it is what it is, but I'm not going to make wine by recipe.
Yeah, it's like you get bored pretty soon if nothing changes.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta be creative. That's what wine creation is all about, and that's what's so much fun being a person that travels and tastes different wines, different wineries. Is they're all so different. They're not just one flavor. It's great.
And we were just bought. So the old owner, RJ and Juanita, loved them to death. They sold, and they were both bought by a group that owns several other businesses in the area, including a brewery. So we now carry beer and cider. And it's their goal to make Plum Hill Vineyards. We're changing the name to the Old 47 Estate. And it's to be a one-stop shop for beverages of the Pacific Northwest. So it's our goal to have many other vineyards, breweries, even a distillery. We don't care. We want tourists to come here to really see what the Pacific Northwest is all about with our beverages. And we think we've got the best wine, the best beer around, so we're just trying to show that off.
One thing I like, since I travel with my 2 dogs, you guys are very pet friendly. You have a dog run out in front of the wine tasting area, and you allow pets, well-behaved pets, inside the wine tasting room like that. Little pup.
The newest puppy, we needed a new winery dog. Since we sold the winery dog, obviously went with the owners, I had to just get another winery dog. Everybody that brings their dogs in, our regulars, their dogs all have a name tag. We put it on the door so we know which dogs are here.
Well, thank you very much for taking time to tell us about your winery here. I appreciate it.
Of course.
And thank you for being a brother of the fin, as they say in submarine talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much as well.
Okay, well, take care.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Just above the tasting room, there are 2 spaces for Harvest Host to park, where they provide a power plug-in and potable water. But let's walk over here and go down to the backyard patio, and let me show you around that. Walk over here to the back side of the wine tasting room, and we'll go under this really nice little canopy, and we see their outside covered patio where you can sit and enjoy your wine. They have barbecues that are for the use of Harvest Host, and they have a fire pit here also. You can see over there is a bar you can sit at also. And step down here. There's the double doors that lead into the main wine tasting room. You can see there's plenty of seating here. Turn around, there's the big fire pit and the barbecues there. And out here they have a nice little area that's out in the open, picnic tables, and a view of one of their vineyards in front of us. They gave me a information flyer on Plum Hill Vineyards, and I'd like to just kind of let you know what they have available for Harvest Host people who stay overnight here and enjoy their hospitality. The welcome flyer from Plum Hill Vineyards states that you can plug into the power outlets next to the door to the barrel room where you back up and park. There's a barbecue on the patio that you saw that's free to use. Just let them know if it runs out of propane. You can connect to the water outlet up there by the power outlets where you park, but they suggest using your own hose. They don't want you to go into the old wooden barn because it is unsafe, and it's best just to look in from outside. You can feel free to walk in and around the vineyards. Dogs and people are welcome in the tasting room if they are well mannered. And there is a washer and dryer in the utility room, tasting room, that you can feel free to use during business hours. After the tasting room was closed for the day, Matt was able to show me around the area to where the hoppers are, the separators are, and the other items that they put the grapes in that separate the grapes from the vines, and then into the keg room where the different wines are bottled and put in stainless steel containers or barrels to age. They do everything here on site, and it keeps them extremely busy during harvest time. Trying to get a little video of the girls here. Kate's watching all the guys working, and Sarah's looking, listening for birds in the vineyard. So they always have their minds on totally 2 different things. Now, Sarah's interested in what the noise is, but this is a beautiful way to start the 14 winery tour, but hey, it's all part of traveling in a little Class B camper van with 2 dogs. Well, our time here at this winery is coming to an end, but the girls and I hope you'll stay with us and follow along as we visit many more wineries heading south through the Willamette Valley and the Umpqua Valley. There's plenty of wine tasting ahead, so stay tuned and keep watching.